What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 Terra map AI only game. It is pretty interesting. We'll see what happens. Rome immediately piecing out with China, but we did have Rome in a lot of wars. I think they are still at war with Denmark, Mongolia and Ethiopia. So we'll see. I mean, if they can survive all three of those, then they have to be considered pretty good, I think. But Ethiopia does have a lot of units here. Mongolia has plenty as well. We have Siam, of course, emerging out in the west. Poland looking incredibly good too. Egypt maybe going to grab a city here off of China. And yeah, China down here as well. And then Denmark. Just a little map show off. I'll just check. I think we are soon going to see some civs doing a bit more exploring. You can already see Mongolia doing just that. Exploring some of the islands around them. Don't think anyone's reached this other sort of new world area yet. Big lake here. If you settle on here, you'll of course get access to that, which could be pretty useful. It's mostly a desert continent, this one. We've got the river coming in, and while we're here, I've just come up. Well, I've not come up with the idea, but it just hit me that I've sort of forgot about it. Siam grabs Sistine Chapel, but we can do a naming contest again. So if someone wants to name any of these islands, if you've got any suggestions, I've got this one. This one, this sort of big curve, and then the big one over here. So if you want to name them, feel free, drop some comments. I think I'm going to record episode 4 right after this, so it won't be in that one, but episodes or 5 or whatever, we can start using those names. And you can name the main one as well. I mean, that's open too. We don't have a name for any of these. And if you want to go really far, name the lakes and seas, get really into it, whatever, that's fine by me. We can start using them. I say it kind of helps, but then sometimes people come up with very sort of mythical and creative words, and then it becomes kind of hard to remember it, but I'll try my best. Poland grabs the Forbidden Palace as Mongolia and Rome reach a peace agreement, and Ravenna changes hands, and that is it. But there is Ethiopia grabbing Arpinium, or Arpinum, here in the south as well. So Rome now still at war with Ethiopia and the Danes, although Denmark is not doing that much. There we go, and yeah, Egypt should get their hands on Nanjing. They've just put in another city here as well. But yeah, I'd imagine Egypt will get this off of China very soon. We'll see. China's having a go. They're sort of throwing rocks at them and saying, stop taking our cities. But there's not much they can do, I'm afraid, in terms of losing this city. As Mongolia adopts autocracy, and is that the first one? Yes, it is. There we go, Mongolia there. And Poland just took a city off Denmark. Were they? Okay, they were at war this whole time and I just forgot. But yeah, Poland takes a pretty big, I think that's Denmark's second city, so that is a blow. As Zanzibar joins the war against Rome. Where is Zanzibar? I don't see them here, so I think Rome will be okay. Sure, they'll be fine. Are Ethiopia continuing that push? They are. They look like they could get this city. They just need to get a melee unit over here. There is the Mihal Safari units now available, so we'll see if they bring one over, or of course any of these other pikemen will probably do. But Rome is now launching a bit of a sneak attack through Panama City, which could strike at the heart of Ethiopia. And their trireme mega navy won't be able to help them out. What else is going on? Beijing. Someone suggested why Beijing was so big, and I've completely forgotten it as I've started recording. I'm sorry. There is a lot of furs. And they had the hanging gardens. And there's a lot of farms here, so, and rivers. So despite being in the tundra, they're doing quite well. I feel like there was another reason. I'm sorry, I've forgotten. But between farms, a lot of furs, which seem to be given 4 or 2 foods. And then, yeah, like grassland. This is technically grassland with a farm on it. They actually have a lot of good food tiles there. And there we go, Nanjing falls into Egypt's hands as Poland puts in another city. They are leaving no inch of land unturned on the original continent here. And there it is, the World's Fair is completed. China actually getting the gold. That is surprising. I get they're probably the least involved in wars, so maybe that's why. But they will get the 100% culture boost for 20 turns, as well as a free social policy and some points towards a golden age. The Mongolians, Poland, Egypt and Ethiopia will all get the free social policy and the points for the golden age. Denmark and Rome will get the golden age points. Siam did not Well, they did participate, but not enough. So close as well. They're only 17 production. You know, one more turn or whatever, they would have won. But when you've got civs putting in 800 and stuff, that seems fair. That they maybe didn't get any benefits out of that. Slightly fairer. Siam has entered the industrial era as Kaopang has been captured by Poland. I believe that was up this way. Yep, so there's just Vyborg left. And Ethiopia did grab Nijmegen with the Mihal Safari unit. So Rome is being pushed back by the Ethiopians. And now we have a vote for the host. I think Mongolia is going to win because they had more votes there. So they'll just stay in charge. And now they're going after Denmark. They were enemy of both enemies of Rome, but now Mongolia is just like, nope, I fancy Copenhagen for myself. Of course, Poland is in the hunt for that as well. If Mongolia does enough damage, maybe Poland will sneak in and grab it. But that Poland-Mongolia border is going to be really interesting. I think to decide between those two, it might be down to what land they take elsewhere on the map, as opposed to what goes on their actual border, at least until, you know, a war breaks out. Because I don't think it's kind of like unstoppable force and immovable object kind of thing. They are both huge in this game right now, and even the other civs are not. There's no pushovers like left. Siam looks pretty good. Egypt is all of a sudden looks huge. China's fairly isolated. They're not exactly great, but they're not exactly exposed. And you've got Ethiopia making a bit of a statement in the corner as well, pushing out, taking a couple of cities, not giving up just yet. And it looks like Rome is actually attacking Panama City. So that's interesting. Mongolia is probably going to take Amsterdam here. About time. They messed up the first time, so they'll take that off the Danes. And then maybe they'll go focus on Copenhagen. Or they could even, if they get Amsterdam, walk through to Roskilde here and then attack Copenhagen from both sides. Poland should take Vyborg this turn, or next turn if they've already been. Amsterdam has fallen, just like that. There we go. That is now Mongolian, and here's Poland taking Vyborg. So yeah, Denmark now down to just the 3 cities. So when I said there was no pushovers, I guess Denmark is maybe considered one eventually, as Rome actually does take out a city-state. They grab Panama City for themselves. I mean, they probably should have just defended against Ethiopia, but, you know, maybe they realised they weren't going to get there in time. May as well focus on this. Maybe Ethiopia was good at an ally with them as well, so maybe just taking out one of Ethiopia's allies was a good move. China grabs the Taj Mahal, another wonder in Beijing. That is going to be a very desirable city. If any of the other leaders can get over there, I'm sure they will want Beijing. I feel like China's built a lot of wonders, and it looks like a very good city to have. We'll see who's the first one to push into the snow and chase them down. I mean, they're still technically at war with Egypt, but now Siam and Egypt are at war, so we'll see how that goes. And Rome has now crossed towards Egypt here, and there's still more settlers for Egypt and Poland. It's a very messy part of the map right here. And so far, Denmark's under siege. Oh, Rome is still at war with them too. The tables have really turned. Rome was at war with all their neighbours. Now it's Denmark at war with all their neighbours. That really turned pretty quickly, didn't it? For the Danes, you can see Rebay here could be in trouble. That could fall to Poland, and if one of these other ones goes too, then it's just going to be a race for the capital. China has entered the industrial era. Good job, China. Egypt's got a settler here. If they settle there, that would be interesting. They are not going to. I don't think they can, but it would have been cool if they could. And yeah, Egypt v Siam. I mean, Egypt, I don't know. Siam's units are all in one place. I think if Egypt have a few turns to sort of get over here, and it looks like they do have a road network of sorts, they'll probably be okay. But you never know. Egypt do have a settler in the ocean. I have a feeling this will just end up here, but you never know. They do have some caravels out there. Rome has a scout. Egypt, okay, Siam. Okay, they are at the new continent now. Siam is here. Definitely Egypt has found the coast. So civs can definitely consider it once they have the ability to send scouts into the deep oceans. So that's, but apart from that, there's a lot of city-states here. There's still ancient ruins, and getting those could be a priority. I think every civ bar China and Denmark should have a chance. I mean, Rome isn't externally coastal to the ocean, but they they have sent a scout out, so I'll let. But yeah, I mean China doesn't, but again could send a scout, and Denmark's the only one who's probably not going to go, and I'm not sure how long they will make it. Ethiopia and Rome peace out with no more cities changing hands. That's good for Rome. They are free to rebuild, focus on their own thing. And Zanzibar also peaced out while they were at it, so that's good. And there it is, Rome. Oh, they grab a city here. Ross killed off of the Danish. It looks like Rebay will probably go next turn, and then Copenhagen probably maybe a turn after that. Not going to be a fun few turns for anyone rooting for the Danes. Yeah, next turn I think Poland will have that. Right, banning of truffles and unbanning copper. We'll see if they make any headway on that. I don't imagine it will get unbanned, but it's the only way I can not affect the game in this one, because there is city-states, so I don't want to embargo them. Some civs might be trading with them. Mongolia putting more of a pressure on Copenhagen. They don't really have any siege weapons. I don't see any cannons. There's one at the back, but not. That's over here. Yeah, not really any siege weapons. Poland takes Rebay, so now it is just a straight race for Copenhagen. The repealing of copper actually passed, so obviously, and truffles failed, so it might just be a mix of who's voting for what. Some would have voted based civs with truffles, and civs with copper would have voted in different ways, and then, you know, the ones that had neither might, I don't know how they make their mind up. Do they unban one, ban the other, fail both? Yeah. There's all the combinations. I don't know exactly what the choice criteria might be there, but yeah, that seems interesting. So now there's no banned luxuries, so if I have to make a proposal next time, I don't know what it will be. Palenque has fallen to Siam, so Egypt have lost a city there, which is a bit surprising. They've actually sent an army to invade China, so this is just a hectic. That has been the word to describe this game so far. They're just like, yeah, we'll lose some territory in the north. We're going after China anyway. Mongolia now has the Brandenburg Gate, and I see some riflemen. So they are doing very well tech-wise. They also have a lot of frigates. Not that they've used them anywhere. Poland has adopted order. That is the opposite of Mongolia, and a lot later, noticeably as well. There's a lot more scouts exploring the world, and yeah, Egypt did just go for that little island. I thought it might be a bit early, based on one caravel kind of finding the coast, and that is the case. They've gone for a little island instead, which could be useful. I mean, it's still fairly early in this game. It's only 190, and at the pace it's running, we'll probably get towards turn 500 fairly comfortably. There's some natural wonders around the map. They're kind of hard to spot, but the Grand Mesa is there, for example. Egypt just missing out on that. Mongolia decides to peace out. So they had Copenhagen in their sights. They got it down to half health, and they decided, no, perhaps we can't deal with the happiness or the warmonger penalty, whatever it might be. But I think Poland may have it in the next turn or two, based on that. Because that frigate's going to shoot it, and then, oh yeah, next turn Poland should take that, so that's a big win for them, unless Rome can snake it somehow, but I don't think they can. The terrain's not there for them, the hills, no roads or anything. So yeah, Rome, they actually did do a little bit with the frigate, but all that does is seal that Poland will waltz on in and eliminate the Danes, unless they peace out. But they won't. They move in and remove Denmark from the game as Copenhagen falls to Poland, who are looking pretty good. We're going to have just, I think we're getting towards, we're going to have 5 or 6 like monster sized civs all going at it. China completes the Uffizi, continuing to just add to the collection of wonders in Beijing. Egypt now enters the industrial era as well. Research agreements going on around the world. Turn 192. We're going to hit 200 this episode. It's only episode 3, so we won't do another info addicts. We only did it, last episode? So we won't rush into that again. Just do it more. We'll just do it more freestyle this time. Whenever an appropriate time pops up, we'll have a look. But we don't need to be looking at it all the time anymore. I'll also try to remember to remove some of the dead civs next time. Egypt also grabs this island, but I'm not seeing any settlers just yet. That is a Zurich caravel exploring the world. Yeah, I'm not seeing any settlers. I do see some scouts though in the new continent. China's here. Egypt is here with a boat. Is anyone up? Mongolia's up all the way up here. Very far away from home. Some of these city-states have Gatling guns. I'm not sure China has Gatling guns, and probably some of the other civs don't have Gatling guns. I think it's because it's based probably on Mongolia's sort of techs, but still. Poland's turn. Are they at peace now? I think they are. Yeah, they weren't at war with anyone over that side. Ethiopia goes freedom, so I think that's 3 different ideologies straight off the bat. It is. Okay, there's different levels of happiness there. Mongolia actually has the most. But Ethiopia has the most tourism, so maybe we're going to end up with a freedom world. And it also means whoever picks 4th is still going to get... They're not limited. They could pick any of them and get the 2... I don't think it's 2, is it, if you go 2nd? Is it 1? I think it's 2 social policies if you pick 1st, 1 if you pick 2nd, something like that. But either way, there's still a bonus there available for any of them, whereas normally you just see like 2 autocracy and then the rest just pick autocracy. But here we have a actual 3-way competition, which could be interesting. Mongolia, Ethiopia, and was it Rome? Or was it Poland? Sorry, forgotten already. It was Poland. So we have order up here in Poland, autocracy in Mongolia, and then Ethiopia opting to be the leaders of the free world, essentially, in this game. We'll see how that goes for them. So Mongolia is getting ready for either Rome or Ethiopia as a war. They have a lot of troops out this way. The citadel placement's been good. I think Rome's borders will still connect somewhere along this line, and that'll be fine. Egypt is, yeah, the Siam's kind of, they took Palenque. I'm assuming they just put these down. So I don't think Egypt would have put them in within their own cities, so that's some pretty aggressive citadel play. But apart from that, they're not really attacking Egypt at the moment, and Egypt is kind of free to try this against China. I don't know how it's going to go. I think they should probably go after Guangzhou first, because it's more open terrain than this lake, and then you could maybe squeeze through. This is kind of awkward to get to without boats. And if you get Guangzhou, I mean, then you could maybe consider going all the way around to attack Beijing from the south. Oh, and there it is. Mongolia does invade Ethiopia. So here we go. The autocrats versus freedom. We'll see who comes out on top. But Mongolia look prepared for this. We'll see if Ethiopia can defend. We did see from their religion and obviously their own unique ability, they're very good defensive civ. They've picked things to be specifically defensive. Poland goes after China. Not sure about that one, but okay. I don't know. Oh, they have sent some ships, but I think it's unlikely. Right, here we go. Most technologies. Mongolia 48, 46 for Poland, 45 Siam, 45 also for Rome, 44 for China, 43 Ethiopia, and 42 for Egypt of these civs that are still competing in this game. But yeah, with Egypt and Poland now putting a bit of pressure on China, that might change things a bit. China are very vulnerable to a naval invasion. This city and this city almost, I guess Rome could come here by land, but anyone else it would have to be by sea. And then Shanghai, if you come through here, attack on the coast. Even Beijing is kind of close to the sea. But here we go, Ethiopia beginning their defense. We'll see how this goes. Obviously Rome may think about getting involved. I think they're going to back off a little bit and rebuild and then maybe go after China, but we'll see what they do. They certainly don't look strong enough to deal with either Poland or Ethiopia, but luckily for Rome they're fighting each other, so they don't have to worry about that just yet. They're okay on that front for now. Processing turn for Poland, processing turn for Ethiopia. Obviously, I wonder if Ethiopia puts up a great defense. I mean, I feel like these nations are all too big at the moment to completely just run out of production. But if Ethiopia put up a really good defense and lowered Mongolia's numbers, you would have to consider whether Poland would think about it. But they seem pretty spread out and sparse at the moment. And there is Mongolian cities all of a sudden on the northern island. That did not take long. They are just taking over everything right now. And yeah, they will probably get some of those ancient ruins too. There's Krakatoa. Poland also has a settler heading off out there. So I imagine soon we'll start to see more and more colonizing of the new continents. Ularu's out here. Krakatoa was kind of in an awkward place. I don't know if anyone will get that. Rome joins Mongolia and goes autocracy. That is not good news probably for Ethiopia. And could be smart from Rome, because now they have a good tourism. They're both next to each other. Should avoid any dissidents. And again, Ethiopia under pressure. Their city's taking some damage, but they don't look in trouble yet. They have good defense, bonuses from their religion, from their unique ability. I reckon they can dig in, put on a good show here. Although saying that, Nijmegen is not looking so great. There is just a horde of Mongolian units, isn't there? Emerging, so many of them. Mongolia are actually limited in the use of their unique ability. I mean, they didn't really use Kashyyyks that much. They also didn't conquer any city-states as far as I'm aware. So I think that's their bonuses against city-states. So it's interesting to note. Will they get this done? It's taken them a while to consider it. Oh, it's in the red. But all these cavalry units are so low. I mean, if Ethiopia could kill this one and this one, and the river kind of would help as well. They only kill some of them, but they might survive another turn. They might live to survive a couple more turns, because there's no cannons either, so they can only melee attack. So I think it might go into the red again, but it certainly won't fall. Famous last words, watch it fall straight away. No, it didn't even go into the red again, so Ethiopia, yeah, picked the right units to kill there. If Ethiopia can cling on to like getting artillery, things like that, I think they'll be able to dig in then. They will be like really good. And here they back away, but again they killed the units that were a threat to this city, which is vital because it's probably going to get another turn to heal a little bit, I guess. Maybe not if the cannon's bombarding them, but one cannon, I feel like you can live with that. That river is coming in very useful right now, being on this side of the river, that's for sure. Doesn't look so good for Gondar here. This caravel, this frigate, I don't think they're escaping anymore. Is Ethiopia with a big counter-offensive here, killing a few units. Wow. But yeah, I think Gondar here could be in trouble, just because Mongolia's got plenty of stuff around here. It looks like Chengdu could fall to Poland as well. Siam and Egypt, maybe they pieced out and I missed it. I don't know, maybe it just looks like they're not very much at war. Poland settled, but decided not to leave the continent and have another settler. We'll see where that ends up. Mongolia is not yet sending more to this island. They got themselves some access to gold and fish and an atoll for some testing maybe later on in the game. And then you've got sugar, just sugar here, but I mean there is an ancient ruins if they were to go and pursue it. They may have fog of war here, they've maybe just not explored that. Or sometimes it might have been that they've got it and it's not disappeared for us. That's fine. Poland should get this. Although they have absolutely no melee units or boats, so that's probably not going to work out. And Mongolia has a plane. 2 planes. 3 planes. Okay. That's going to make Ethiopia, who were 5 techs behind earlier, that their lives just that little bit harder, not having access to those planes. They are just triplanes, so that kind of helps a bit. But there it is, Gondar falls to Mongolia on the coast, and that's going to hurt Ethiopia because now this city is very exposed on its own. Again, they can all sort of swing round to the side, and look, they're getting caused troubles down here as well by the Mongolian navy. Luckily, Harrar and the capital are on the other side. I mean, look at this mining region as well. Look at that. Quite impressive. Rome with a settler. We'll see where that ends up going. Ethiopia has pushed down here with a city. into the tundra, continuing to expand. Is Poland going to send a melee unit? No, but they do have great war infantry, so it's a good sign. At least someone is going to keep up with Mongolia to some extent, who are just churning out planes now like it's nobody's business. Ban Silver, embargo Denmark. Denmark's not around, but okay. But that will be it for this episode. So as always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.